Okay folks, I've got a bit of a bonus lesson for you here. Earlier I mentioned I'll show you a little bit of a bonus on how to merge detailed and non-detailed versions in Photoshop. For example, I've got a not very detailed version here. I've used the light upscale redo, but I've also got a detailed version, and I may like certain bits and not bits of the other one. So what I'll do is I'm going to open I think I'm going to start with the not detailed version. And it doesn't matter which one you start with, and I'm going to drag that into Photoshop. So you can only do this bit if you've got Photoshop, but you can do it in other programs as well. But again, it's not key to the course, so don't worry if you haven't got Photoshop, you can skip over this. What I'm going to do, I've got the non-detailed version. I'm going to open up the detailed version by just dragging into here. So now in Photoshop I can flick between the two, and you can see the differences. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this layer here from detailed into the non-detailed. So drag the layer and drag it on top, and just make sure it's you drag it so the pink lines show like that, like a window, so it's exactly on top, so I can turn on and off. Okay, what I would do now is I really like the detail in the lights by here, but I don't really like it anywhere else. So what I'm going to do is, with this layer here, I'm going to rename this to detail, and I'm going to rename this background to non-detail. And with the detail layer selected, if you click the layer mask, what it's going to do is it's going to give you a white layer mask, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to click, no, I'm just going to go and get black, the paint bucket, and with that selected, not this, but that, click like that, and what it's going to do is I can now get a brush and select white, and I can start painting back in that image. So what you'll see, wherever this, and do it on the layer mask by here, not this one, otherwise you're actual painting colour onto it. Click this one, make sure you're painting white, and you're basically painting that detail back in so you can limit where that detail is coming in. Okay, so I'm going to delete it again, delete that layer mask. So I've got detail on top, with it selected, click the layer mask. It's white, which means it's showing through everywhere. So just get your paint bucket, hold your click and just select your paint bucket and switch this to black, drag it in there, in this one, not this one. And now get your brush, make sure it's white, and you can start painting in that detail where you want it. So I can bring detail back in here, okay, back into this area and this area by here. And maybe I just want it in the buildings and not the people, because, you know, it was just maybe too distracting in there, or whatever. And so just bring it back in, paint it quite loosely, and there we go. I may want to bring it back in here. Actually, that's too much for there. May want to bring it back in there. Or what you can do is you can change this to a grey, or actually let's just change the opacity of the brush to like 20%. So you start to bring in a little bit of it, but not too much. And you'll notice it's not in that, but there, it's not white, it's kind of a bit grey, so it's not bringing it in completely. So you can just start to bring bits of it across, and maybe start to bring a little bit in there, maybe a little bit in him. So what you're doing is you're painting this back in gradually. Okay, so that's my little pro tip on how to merge some of these. Okay, so I'll finish it there, and I hope you found that useful as well. But yeah, cheers.